Hey guys, Adrenaline Junkie here. We just wanted to fill you guys in on a few ideas we've had at Team AJP. What we want to do is we want to start a new video series called Trail Fix, where we're going to focus on issues that you guys might run into on the trail while riding. We're going to focus on solutions and how to approach difficult scenarios. So we hope you enjoy the first few videos in the series, and we'll be working hard to improve them. Any feedbacks or comments you have are highly appreciated because they really do help us pinpoint what you guys want to see. So thanks again for watching, thanks for the continual support, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. So, we'll see you in the next video. Hey, check this out.
Oh, what'd you do?
See over here? Look down there.
Oh!
This disconnected itself.
Yeah, that's not important, right?
Oh, it's not super important.
Yeah.
It greased everything nicely all around
You
there.
still have 3 wheels. She busted.
So I drove it back in one-wheel drive for the most part until I got to the mud, and then popped her into 4, and now she's 3-wheel drive. So we're gonna pull out the rear axle there, and we'll just go on our ride today and take it easy, and we'll just go in 3-wheel drive. We'll have it in 4 all day, so the front wheels will be pulling. Or we could pull both rear axles and have our first front-wheel drive RZR ever. How funny would that be?
Front wheel drive.
Yeah, RZR.
Like a little Honda Civic.
Then we
Like
can
Eric's
take the Geo
car.
out. Yeah, we can take the Geo Metro out.
Oh man! Ah!
What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out the rear driver's side axle because it's broken. It looks like the cage exploded. So yeah, it looks like the cage and the axle. Oh, blocking your light. Looks like the cage and the axle that carries all the little balls has cracked and exploded, and that takes pressure off the balls and allows the axle to flop around. So it's just being flopped around here as we drove back. So we're gonna pull it out here.
Yep.
So it looks actually like I was wrong when I said the cage exploded. It seems like the axle itself, the shaft twisted, it torque twisted. You can see the spiral there, and the piece of shaft is still left in the spline in the cage. And if you look at the axle, you can see it's broken, and you can see it's twisted. That little, I'll wipe it better. Ugh. You can see that there's a point here in the middle. You can see that there's a rotational twist in the shaft, and then it snapped in the middle when it just couldn't flex and rotate anymore. So the shaft itself twisted, and the wheel didn't move. The shaft did, so it broke. So you can see there's a nipple here, and the swirl marks that show you it's a torque break. So the reason this axle blew isn't because the cage shattered. Usually it is the cage that fails on these, we find. However, in this case, it was a material failure on the axle shaft itself. It couldn't take the torque, probably from the boost spike, from 0 throttle to full throttle, and it literally just twisted and snapped it at what it found to be the most stressed or the weakest link, which is where it went into the splines. Maybe something wasn't machined right, maybe there was a defect in the shaft material, maybe the axles just need to be a little bit stronger. So what we're gonna try and do is we're just gonna try and do a trail fix here, and we're gonna pull it out of the tranny and hope that we can just keep going. What we need to do is over here, we need to leave the stub of the axle inside the spindle assembly so that it can support the bearing. We can't remove that. So since it's broken here, it's actually really done a good job. It's preventing us from having to break it out. So this joint broke, so we just leave that joint in the wheel. We remove this. So we're gonna jack up the RZR and see if we can get a little bit more play here. Worst case scenario, we'll have to unhook the radius rods. Okay, gotta take the wheel off. In order to remove the broken axle, we need to remove the wheel, remove the bolts from the spindle assembly that connect the radius rods, as well as the rear brake caliper. So you can see all the grease splashed around there from the boot ripping off. You'll need a 19mm to remove the wheel on a Razor 1000 or an XP Turbo. You'll need an 18mm to remove the bolts from the spindle that connect the radius rods in the rear, and you'll also need a 15mm to remove the caliper in the rear. In other model Razors, some of those sizes may not apply. I'm listing the sizes for a 2017 Polaris Razor XP Turbo. I don't know how much it's going to give me to do this with that line there though. I gotta take the caliper off regardless. Yep.
She gotta go.
I'll just Loctite when I get home.
You got Loctite?
No, sir.
That's fine. I'm gonna have to add to the kit. I had my truck, I had Loctite. You guys got Loctite?
Take both the radius rods off. Here you see me removing the 18mm bolts for the radius rods, and then you'll see me remove the 15mm bolts for the rear brake caliper. Never directly strike the threaded surfaces of the bolt.
Remember, always respect your tool. And your
So
friend's
use someone
tools.
else's if you're gonna smash them.
Shirts off, boys.
Shirts off.
Shirts off.
Tail skin out.
Spread well.
Tail patrol.
Once you remove the hardware for the radius rods and move them out of the way, and remove the caliper, you'll have access to the axle so you can pull it out. So now we can try and pull the axle out. Ta-da! She gone.
You got something to plug the hole with?
Don't need to, it's closed system.
Polaris. You know
Made for
Can-Am,
this,
buddy.
yeah.
You do that if you broke that on a Can-Am?
No, I don't think the rears are like that.
You
I think it's
sure?
only the front. No, I'm not sure.
I think it's all both sides.
Well, I'm glad I don't have a Can-Am then. Good.
That axle.
So now we're just gonna put it all back together without the axle in. When pulling out the old axle, first push it all the way in towards the transmission so it bottoms out. Then pull firmly towards yourself. Make sure it's straight and make sure you pull hard and straight. Okay, last bolt, or last nut. When you pull on the axle, the shaft is gonna move towards you. Once it contacts, that force should release the C-clip inside the splines. What? Oh yeah, I'm pretty much done. So all you're gonna do now is put your wheel back on and torque it back on, and you should be good to go. Once everything's reassembled, double check all the nuts and bolts, make sure they're torqued to specification, and torque the wheel once the Razor's on the ground. Oh my god, it looks so weird. Keep in mind, the handling characteristics of the vehicle will be affected now with the axle removed, so take some time to get used to them. You're going to want to keep it in four-wheel drive to avoid breaking the other rear, and you're going to want to avoid hitting the throttle too hard. Take it easy. With the old, in with the nothing. Well, thanks for watching our trail repair, guys. Check out our other videos on the channels, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have a moment, check out our new channel, Adrenaline Junkie Projects. It's going to focus on a lot of technical stuff like this video, other installs, routine maintenance, and preventative maintenance, as well as just general off-road lifestyle. So we'd love to see you there. Thanks. Also, you'll be able to check out the extended cut version of a lot of these videos on our channel.